Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Someone's Gotta Do It. Today's episode is sponsored by Two Puts. Two Puts is a local golf leisure brand selling a range of hats, hoodies and t-shirts. If you want to purchase any of the products, you can use discount code SGDI for 15% off your order. In today's episode, I sit down with Ben Walker. Ben reached out to me about sharing his story about growing up with autism, being diagnosed with autism from an early age, and navigating his childhood and school life through it, and eventually leading to where he works now and how he deals with it in his daily life. Ben is a young guest, so it's slightly different to what we're used to, but he was passionate about sharing his autism story. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Hello and welcome to Someone's Gotta Do It with me, Callan. And today my guest is Ben Walker.
Hello.
Hi mate, you okay?
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah. Huh?
First question straight off. If somebody you know really well was going to describe you to a stranger, complete stranger, someone you'd never met, what do you think you'd say?
Oh, it's a bit of a tricky question. It's not one that you think about at all. I'm kind of normal, I think. Average. I don't know. I'm not overly happy, I guess. Some people might say back at the gym because he's wind people up, but I'm not overly anxious, I'm not overly happy. I'm just keep myself in the middle, try and keep myself to myself. Just get along with stuff, I guess.
Chill.
It's different at work. People see me completely different. At home, I'm completely different. At work, it's not an office job. You don't have to. Oh, don't mess around with your co-workers too much. You'll get fired. And some of the things that I'm sure you'll. I've called some people some bad names in front of some high up people. And it's like, so there, I'm a completely different person to who I am at home. At training, I'm completely different. At a different gym, I'm completely different. The people around me change what I'm like, really. If I'm around boring people, I'm going to sit here and be like this. But if someone's up for talking, I love talking to people. I'll talk for hours, you know what I mean? So, just, I don't know, normal, I guess.
So what do you think has happened in your life and your upbringing and everything? So you're a little bit different than the people I've had on so far, because a lot of the people I've had on have got loads of life experience. You're still relatively young. So what do you think has happened in your life and your upbringing to get you to where you are now that makes you think that people would describe you in that way? So let's start from the beginning. You know, your childhood, your upbringing with your parents. What was the family dynamic? How was high school, primary school, high school, all of that?
So, growing up, family was great. Parents did end up getting divorced when I was in year 6. So it's kind of a weird time to get divorced, because if you're 3, 4, you don't know what's going on. If you're 18, 19, you're probably distraught. I was 6. In year 6, I didn't really know. I cared, but I was like, is this going to affect me that much? Still see my dad still. So that was great. I got bullied a lot in primary school. A lot. Which is, looking back on it, I kind of needed it. I know it sounds a bit weird, but it's the same in high school. Got picked on first 3 years, really. Pretty much most days, which it just made me be hyper aware, I feel, of acting certain ways in certain people, knowing, if I say this joke to this guy, is he going to understand? Is he going to get it? And obviously, if you don't know, I'm diagnosed with autism. So that's constantly spinning around in my head, round and round. And I'm thinking, if I say this to him, what's he going to think? How's he going to feel? And I kind of had a good feel of, if I've known people for long enough, I'm going to know, he's not going to take a well, which might be everyone, but kind of helped with being autistic, because you do think about everything and everything and everything. But, yeah, there was nothing major. No one died or anything, so I was kind of good. But, yeah, primary school, I don't remember much of it. I got picked on by teachers in high school a lot. I was very bad in high school. I didn't do like drugs or anything. I just couldn't sit still in class. And
I think that
obviously,
was linked to your undiagnosed autism at that point.
no, I was diagnosed when I was quite young. I think I was 7, but my high school was terrible with it. There's a lot of people that my mum knows. My mum knows people's parents and stuff, and they say the same thing. And they didn't have the right plan. It's a great school, I'll tell you. My sister's gone there. She's just done her GCSEs. They get great results out of every kid. It's a great school to send kid to, but because it's so great and they have such a, you've got to be on time, perfect, it gets good results, but some people can't do that. As hard as you as hard as you try with them, you can't do it, and then they get a bit frustrated and like, I might just fuck him off. I might just send him somewhere else because he's going to lower our standards. That's how I felt it was anyway. So, and that kind of changed how I deal at work. Obviously, I used to get told something at high school. I'd be like, right, I don't understand. I don't know why you're having a go at me. I don't know what I've done wrong. Tell me what I've done wrong, and then I'd be argumentative, get fucking bollocked for that, get excluded, suspended, and then I'm kind of in work now, and I'm getting, sometimes if everything does things wrong, I'm getting told, you've done this wrong. Yeah, but can you explain it to me? And that's where my company's great, which we'll get onto soon, but it's just, yeah, I don't feel like much happened in my childhood. Really, it's just gone slow and steady, I guess.
So in primary school, year 7 years old, what sort of year was you in? 7?
Well, I'm pretty sure I was 7. I might have been younger, but I didn't have a clue about autism when I was there. I went to hospital, diagnosed me with autism. It was quite, from what I remember, it was quite scary because I had a big thing about being different to other people, which I guess most kids do, but then most kids don't have a label attached to them, which, especially, I'm saying back then like it was years ago, but you had that label and it was, yeah, but don't say that because he's autistic, or treat him a bit different because he's got, they call it an EHCP, he's got this, and it felt like I was a bit excluded, and that's where I struggled to fit in. And then same going into high school, struggled to fit in.
So why did that come about when you were young? Like, why did you get diagnosed with autism as it was?
I was just like any other kid, I guess, bubbly, nothing really. But when I got to like 3 and 4, I think my mum started noticing obviously you can't, when you're younger, you can't talk, but I didn't communicate how other babies would communicate. So maybe they might cry. I just didn't cry, maybe. She tries to explain it to me, but it's hard. And then, yeah, just social interactions. I was terrible. I know everyone hates going to nursery, but I'd like cry all day and all day until my mum come back, and then I'd be perfect. And then, yeah, I got diagnosed, and I feel like it made it worse, getting diagnosed. But I tried, now I've grown up and I've left high school, I've done a lot of research on autism, and it's not actually as bad as you think. There's a lot of positives to it. So when I'm at work, I've got quite a good detail for like angles. Now it sounds weird, but I try and explain it to people. I'm like, we have to do pipe bending at work, and I can see the angles. I know it might be something else. I might be diagnosed with something else, like, I don't know, but it's the details of things that you can like almost picture out, and I know that's a tiny bit out, and I've got like 100% perfect. But yeah, it's and there's so many what's it called, spectrum. So obviously you think of autism, you might think like non-verbal, and there is people that are there, but then there's the people up here that are fine. And then there's the people here where I feel like I am that they look normal. Not saying that these guys don't look normal, but they look normal, they move normal and everything, but up here it's like they struggle. And I've struggled a lot, and I still do struggle a lot, but I think about it more now. So eye contact, when I was growing up, I couldn't look anyone in the eyes. I used to have this thing where, say I'm looking at you now, I'd look at you and then my brain would be going, oh no, you're looking too long, look away. Oh no, you looked away for too long, look back. And then I'd be like all over the place, and then someone would be telling me something and I wouldn't even know what they said 5 seconds before. And I'd be like, I've got to work on this. But even now at work, if someone's telling me something, it happened the other day. My boss was showing me this job we were doing. I just caught myself. I was just looking down here. I was listening to what he's saying, but I'm making sure that I'm listening to what he's saying, not making sure that I'm looking at him, because my boss knows I'm autistic. I think he understands. If I'm not looking at you, it doesn't mean I'm not interested or anything. I'm just trying to understand what's going on. So it's just little things. There's a lot of anxiety that comes with it about different things. Just about growing up, relationships, a lot of anxiety about that. Even when it's going perfectly well, it's still ticking and ticking on like, oh, am I doing something wrong? Overthinking about stuff. And it's like, wow, this is it really does hit you, I feel like, when you grow up. And I think it's the same with my dad. He had a bit of a different childhood because years ago. But I feel like as he's got older and he's learned about me having autism, he's like, oh, I think I've got a little something. Do you know what I mean? So,
I mean, I don't think autism has had the recognition that it deserves until more recently, isn't it? Yeah, like autism, I'll tell you, when I was at school, so I was in high school 2004 to 2009. So,
yeah, so I was born in 2007.
Yeah, so when I was at high school, people would have had autism.
It did, but
they weren't recognised, weren't talked about. Autism wasn't even a word when I was at school. So, for like your dad's generation and stuff that's before then as well, got to be the same, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I feel like I've done a lot of research, and there's kind of a generation of people who have autism that are just quiet, and you go around and you see there's something not too right with that guy, but he's developed a coping mechanism by maybe not talking to anyone. He just sits there and he's just calm. And I feel like I kind of feel bad because I'm like, I had all this help and I've achieved quite decent things. So what could you have done if you had the help? But then you can't dwell on stuff like that, can you really? It is what it is.
When you're young, how do they diagnose you? Like, what tests do you have to do?
I don't know. I don't remember being tested. It was weird things like they'd give me bubbles, I'm pretty sure someone told me, and I'd be blowing the bubbles and then they'd take the bubbles off me. And I'd like kick off like,
how you react.
Just weird stuff like that, reacting. I'm guessing there was some reading stuff in there. Just basic tests. I think it's weird with kids because they can't express anything. But especially getting diagnosed with autism as a kid, I was very different. I was very much a problem to like everyone around me. But then I've grown up, and especially when I was in high school, they were referring to a diagnosis I had when I was 4 or 7-ish in that area. And I'm like, yeah, but that isn't me. That was me 12 years ago. I'm totally different. I need something new. I need someone to do something new. Come and talk to me. And it never happened. So God knows what I could know about myself now if I had that in high school and not referring back to something I did 10, 11 years ago. But yeah.
How much of an effect did you think your mum and dad splitting up?
It feels bad saying, oh, it didn't really affect me, but yeah, I feel like it did. It did when I got to the later end of high school, I guess. I was a bit like, oh, because I live with my mum, and I was like, oh, I feel horrible for my dad. Like, I really did. And I used to get really upset about it. I still do get upset about it, but then there's the coping. And So it didn't. I wouldn't say it affected me loads. It wasn't a nasty breakup. We still talk to each other and stuff. My sister's always staying at my dad's. It's just like he just lives somewhere else, really. Still message him. He messages me every week. Like on a Sunday night, he'll be like, have a great week at work. So I don't know, but maybe later in life it might, if I ever, something like that happens to me, it might affect me more, or it might help me. Actually, no. I think it'll help me not make mistakes that people did. Not going to say, oh, you've done this, but obviously people make mistakes. I feel like having seen it firsthand means, oh, best not do that, or this is how it's going to end. So I feel like it will help me with any relationships. Well, my relationship I'm in right now, hopefully.
So you say in your early years at high school you were bullied?
Yeah.
How did that come about? Why was that?
Well, if I'd known, I'd have probably stopped it. But no, I don't know. I was just different. I was weird. I had big glasses. That was one thing. I didn't talk to many people. I was argumentative, but people would take the piss and I'd say just stupid shit back to them. I'd be like, just trying to defend myself, because every day I'd get terrorized. And then, yeah, I don't know. I had friends that then I had different friends in different friend groups as I grew up. But no, I don't exactly know why I got bullied. If I knew that, it'd be pretty great. I might ask them when I leave, but no, there was nothing in particular. I liked, in primary school, I liked rules a lot, and I hated people breaking rules. So I'd go out my own way to tell these people not to break the rules, and I feel like that had a little bit of and then I think that just carried on to high school, and I was just a bit weird.
It could be an autism thing as well, that though. You know what I mean? As in, like, so I know someone with autism, and there's like different types of autism.
Yeah, so there used to be so I've got Asperger's, but I don't think they do that anymore. No. It changed a few years ago. They had this autism, Asperger's, throwing out random words, and then I think they've completely changed it. So, yeah.
Well, I know a guy who when I was at school, nobody knows that, but he was similar in the fact that it's like, well, they're the rules. That's what we have to do. We can't deviate from the rules. And I remember we had this piece of work that we were doing in class, and there's 2 pages to it. It's like a double-sided sheet. And the teacher was like, we're going to fill this side out today, and then we'll do the next side next week. And he couldn't compute it in his head. He was like, what do you mean? Well, just finish it. Let's do all of it. And we're like, no, we're going to do half this week, and then we're going to cover the second half next week. And he was like, I can't do that. I need to finish it now. And it was like, but Nick, are you all right? You know, like, it was different. Actually, at school, autism wasn't a thing to us.
Yeah. Well,
we were looking like, is he all right? What?
He just wants to get it done. He wants to go home.
Looking now, that was a level of autism that we didn't know about. It must have been.
Well, that's the kind of thing when I was saying about someone deeply explaining what's going on, because I might hear something like, he might hear, oh no, we're doing it next week, but why are we doing it next week? Tell me why we're doing it next week, because if not, I'm going to go home and I'm going to think about it all night, and he'll have known he was going to go home and he was going to be like, not worry, but be like, why can't we have done it today? And that's where, when I was getting in trouble, I had one teacher that was great, actually. She was a science teacher for me. And she said, right, I am going to like bollock you, but I'm going to be fair with you. I'm going to tell you why first. I'm going to say, walk you through. I'm going to say, right, you did this wrong. When this guy said this to you, you shouldn't have reacted like this. And at least you try and help instead of just, oh, you f***ed up. You're going home kind of thing. At least you tell me and then send me home. So, yeah, just explain it. I think that's one of the biggest things. If you've got a child with autism, explain everything. Not as in, or they're stupid, they won't understand, I need to explain it. If they seem like there's a barrier there, explain why, what's going on. Tell them, oh, we can't go to the park because it's raining. Yeah, but why? Because you might slip over, So yeah, I feel like that's a pretty big lesson for people with autism, to just explain things thoroughly.
So you've gone through high school. When did the bullying stop?
The bullying kind of stopped, so there was lockdown when I was in year 8, so we were just all sat inside, didn't see each other.
Still going to school though, around COVID or not?
My mum's a social worker, so she had to go in, so I had to go in for a part, and then they realised I weren't doing calls. I went back home and did all, which I regret. I really do regret. I wish I wish I worked. But yeah, so we came back after lockdown and just stopped. I kind of grew up over lockdown. I got new friends that I met during lockdown. A lot of them were great. None of them knew that I had autism officially, but they knew that a lot of things were wrong with me, I guess. And I don't know, it just literally went away. And then I ended up being all right mates with some of the people that I used to get bullied by. But then there was still a few that would just take the absolute piss, and I still hate them now. Can't stand them. But are they going to be the same now? I don't know. Probably not. But yeah, I just grew up, I guess. I just stopped taking shit, really, to be fair. That's one thing. I just won't take it. And then I started training. That's the big thing. I started training with Tommy. Tommy Turner. Yeah. Started going with him. I had a great role model in Mio, which I don't know if he's too pleased at me at the moment, but he was great, I grew up so fast going there. I was there every day. I didn't have what else to do. Didn't have any homework to do. And he'd bollock me as well, but at least he got me doing something. At least he got me going to competitions. So I think that was a big thing as well, to stop me getting bullied. I got a lot of confidence. Not confidence as, all right, I'm going to bully people now. Just something about you, instead of being like this. Just opening yourself up to, I don't know, just talking to people. Bang, all this. And that was all because of training, actually. It was.
So when did you start training? When you was at school?
I started doing jiu-jitsu when I was 14, I think. So I think it was the end of year 9, going into year 10. And yeah, I was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Everybody usually is when they start, to be honest.
But the worst thing was I was terrible and small. Extremely small. I think when I started jiu-jitsu, I was like 54 kilos. And then I got up to like 65, and I was like, wow, massive. And now I'm 65 now, after a weight cut that went pretty wrong. And now I'm still tiny. But yeah, that was definitely a very important thing to start training. And then that opened me up, training up to MMA, boxing, Muay Thai. I do so much more with my life now, and I feel so much more confident. Like, even going to the shops, because people are crazy now. Like, you hear so much on the news. I'm sure if I never started training, I'd be one of them that just sits indoors all day. But I'm like, I can kind of box. Like, if something's going to happen, I'll be all right. I'm never going to start anything, but at least I know, right, I can go and do this. I've got a bit of confidence. I'm okay. I've opened myself up. And I do feel like every kid should, not even if you're just autistic, every kid, I'm sure your kids I bet they already are training. Yeah, this is what I mean.
Yeah, my eldest does, yeah.
Even if they don't like it and they never do it.
It's important. I think it's important. I think you never know what's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? You can never be prepared for what's going to happen and people's reactions. And especially in this day and age. And I think people are on a knife's edge quite a lot of the time. I think it's very, very important that you have at least a little bit of an understanding on how to look after yourself if you need it.
Well, just a jab. A jab will get you out of pretty much anything,
I think
really.
just any martial art, whatever it is, any martial art in the world, if you do a little bit of something, you put yourself in good stead because you never know what's going to happen.
We was talking earlier about someone from Muay Thai about jiu-jitsu, and it was like, this guy's never trained jiu-jitsu, but he's trained. Like, he's gonna have the movements, he's gonna have the flow, he's gonna have the timing, technique. Well, not the technique, the timing. He's not gonna be like useless. He knows how to move, he knows how to push, he knows how to pull. And that's from one martial art. Even if you boxed, I think you'd have better jiu-jitsu starting off at someone that's done nothing.
I just think that doing any martial art in general, you don't have to pick, obviously I love jiu-jitsu, I love jiu-jitsu, but you don't have to be jiu-jitsu. Pick a martial art and just train. Just do a little bit of something just to give you an idea. And I think what I love the most about it is it levels you. It shows you where you are. I remember when on the first day I ever went to jiu-jitsu, and everyone's got like first day training story. And I was only telling this the other day, actually. I went in, white belt, I've got two brothers. I can have a bit of a ruckus. We used to wrestle a bit when we were kids. I can kind of look after myself.
Did Deck train then?
Yeah, Deck had done about 6 months at this point. Yeah. I started, Deck was badgering me to start for ages. So I started mainly because he did. But I was thinking, I'm one of three brothers. I'm going to be good at this, And I remember we went in and there was like loads of white belts and I got mashed up. And I remember seeing this kid. Obviously, I had no idea at the time. Pete Whittle, green belt. I think he's a green belt.
Oh, Pete Whittle, yeah.
Yeah, he was either a green belt or an orange belt. I can't remember. I remember seeing him, and he was like 14 at the time. He was this big. There was an out to him. He probably weighed 50 kilos. And I remember thinking, put me with him. I'll be all right if you put me with him.
Until you burn bored you and show
you unconscious. The stuff that he could do to me, I couldn't believe it. This kid's 14 years old, and he made me feel like a child. I was like, I have to know how to do this.
I bet the car ride home was great, wasn't it?
It was quiet. You're driving home, you're thinking, I can't believe that a 14-year-old kid can do that to me. I can't believe it. And that I try and badger on to everybody about jiu-jitsu and the benefits from it and stuff. I think and Joe Rogan talks about it all the time on his podcast, and you've no idea where you are in the food chain and what people can do to you if you've got a little bit of training. You think, I don't want to be in a scenario or a situation where someone's being aggressive. I'm out with my family, someone's being aggressive and trying to attack my family, and I don't know what to do about it. It's a no from me.
Then you're just a bitch.
Yeah. But it's not even that. I think it's just being in that scenario. Like, what if someone's threatening your child? Or you need to know how to defend yourself at the very minimum.
Yeah. I think it's good for your mind. I know a lot of people that if they don't go, they start cracking out. Happened to me. I remember when, obviously, you get ringworm, don't you? Then you have to be off for 8 years minimum at that gym. And then I just started going nuts. And I said to my mum, I'm absolutely losing my head. This was when I was probably about 16, just leaving high school or still in high school. I was losing it. I couldn't do it. And then I got back and I was fine.
I think it's another thing about, I'm talking about knowing how to defend yourself and all this. That's the reason you start. But it's not the reason you keep going. It's not the reason I keep going. You develop good friendships with people, like number one. I was only talking about this on last week's we Taco.
You had Taco on?
I had Taco on last week.
That was funny.
And he was like, when you get on the mats and you've got Chris Overton on top here and you're in bottom side control, you've got to think about anything else. All you can think about is, how am I going to survive this? And it's just the best mental release.
It's great.
Ever.
Like, I feel like from your mentality, jiu-jitsu is the best, I'll be honest, because you are free. If you train boxing or something, you're stressed. You're like, oh my God, this guy's about to tee off on me. So it's stressful. It's stressful training boxing or striking. Jiu-jitsu, it's stressful. You're getting choked, but you can chill. I've got my arms. I can be here. There's nothing else going on. I'm just thinking. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm absolutely whooped. And so I think that's definitely the best for your mentality. Just staying calm. And that's another thing, staying calm. I don't know what I'd be like if I didn't start training. I'd have Meow shouting at me every time I swore or something. But yeah.
Mihal's like, you spoke about Mihal already.
He's great.
He's one of the best coaches that, I'm privileged to do the kids class with Mihal, and I learned so much from him and the way he is with the kids and stuff. I think he's a phenomenal coach.
Yeah. I haven't spoke to him in a bit, but I think if it wasn't for him, I'd be a very messed up person. I'll be honest, and I think he kind of knows that because he knows what I was like when I came in. I was a little shit. I still am a little shit sometimes, but I'm a respectful little shit, and that is out of fear of him for 3 years or whatever it was. I was like, oh, best not say anything to him, messing about and looking behind you and seeing his beard like this. Like, I'm gonna fucking beat the fuck out of you, pal. But yeah, if I didn't go train there, even if I went and trained there, I think not putting any other coach down, but no one's got the same fucking stare that he does. Even if a different coach is doing that class, I think I would have still been a dick, but because it was him, I think he set me straight, really.
I think that every coach brings something different, don't they? Everyone does.
Yeah.
And I think one of Mihal's biggest strengths is the way he deals with like the younger generation. He's so good with the kids and the young.
I mean, that happened with Tommy. Obviously, I didn't start when he did, but I think he was like 7. Mihal said to me he couldn't do a fucking cartwheel when he started. He's the least athletic person ever. And you look at him now and you're like, really? Like, is he the least athletic person? But then you see videos of him. He's like, they weren't, not being a dickhead around, because he's great now, but he didn't have crazy talent. He just worked hard. He went there every day for 7 years. And he went to competitions, fought everyone, beat everyone. He just beat 5 people at once. Who does that? Not at once, sorry. After each other.
Yeah, one after the other, yeah.
Who does that? And that's after years and years and years and years and years of doing the same thing. Going to the gym, going home, going to school, going to the gym, going home. And just consistency, I think it is. Really.
What was the main reason you started training martial arts? What got you through the door? So you said that you was bullied at school and then you started training martial arts. Where was the decision to train?
There's a gym near the school the high school I went to, and I went to there. I don't know why I went there. I couldn't stand it. And Tommy was there, and my mum and Tommy's mum had been mates for ages, so we knew each other anyway. I didn't know he trained anything, and he was like, oh, I like the UFC, and we were talking about it, and he was like, why don't you come down and train jiu-jitsu? And I was like, yeah, I'm going to fuck everyone. And then I went in, got absolutely mauled, and then, yeah, but it was a bit about, oh, I'm getting terrorised. What if one day everyone's getting bigger, I'm skinny, everyone's massive, I'm going to get hurt probably one day. Like, you never know. No. So I feel like that had a bit to do with it. And it was something to do. I liked it. It was Charles Oliveira. I watched his fight with Tony Ferguson where he nearly snapped his arm. I was like, I want to be able to do that.
I remember it well. Did tap.
Yeah, that's when it was. Tap. So when that fight is when I started jiu-jitsu.
Was it? I remember watching that fight. I think I was here. I was watching it here.
Actually, I was watching YouTube shorts before I came here, and that fight was on there. And
he put it under the armpit, didn't he?
Yeah, it was the ref. It was the ref talking about it. He was like, "You put it under the armpit," and I heard him grunt, and I was like, "That's when I started."
His arm was so bent. Like, man, tap, please tap.
He don't care long, does he?
No, that's wild.
I know, and it was ages.
How mad is it as well? Thinking about it now, you said that, you can see angles and stuff, and
yeah, that was great as well.
This is another thing I was just going to say, because all martial arts is so technical, and you're talking about seeing technical things. It's not, isn't it weird how you go straight down that path?
I had never thought about that until you just mentioned it then. I'm not saying I was the best grappler on the planet. I'm just speaking from my experience. Like, I could see things. I could see things before they were going to happen. I know it sounds like I'm chatting a lot of shit, but I'm actually not. I could see, I know you're going to do that because I've rolled with you 10 times and you've done it. And it's like, I might not have the best skill, or I might not have had the best skill, but at least I know what he's going to do. I can kind of, I feel like with being autistic, you pick up patterns and you see the patterns and that's all you think about. And I feel like that helped a lot because Will was great at triangles. I knew every single time I put my hand on the ground, he's going to triangle me. He wouldn't get one off now, by the way. I just wanted to let him know if he gets it, he'd get absolutely pushed around a gym. But I knew every time I put my hand down, oh, he's going to triangle me. Or even if knew every time someone was going to put a hand down, I can triangle them. It's the patterns. And that's one thing about jiu-jitsu, where you go to side control, or you go to mount, and then you do this, and then you do that, and then you've won. And I like that when I first started. I've changed it up, how I trained after, but starting that, yeah, you do this, you do that, and then you've won.
So active problem solving. And I think John Danaher talked about it, like it's a problem that's constantly moving and you're trying to figure it out all the way along. So good for your brain.
And then you just get thrown off and then you're back. And then, oh, he's passing my guard.
Yeah, but then there's another problem. Yeah, like I'm out of that problem. I'm into something else. But then it's trying to, we're talking about being defensive here. When you start going on the attack, you're thinking about defending and attacking. So there's so much to think about all the time.
And that's what I liked. I like doing that. It was great. Sadly, I'm not 100% with it right now. I do Muay Thai, I do MMA at the moment. I'm not 100% at jiu-jitsu. I go once a month maybe, train it at places. But I knew that if I smashed it out every day, I'd never do it again. So, Mia, you can have that in your mind and think, I will be back just one day. If I'm 27, I'm 27.
Do you know what? You're young though as well.
Exactly.
You're young as well.
That's everyone said that to me. Pan said that to me. Brownie said that to me. Meow never said that to me, actually. He told me to keep training jiu-jitsu, but yeah, I am young. And if I got bored of it, I'd have never done it again. No, I'm doing Muay Thai. I enjoy that. I enjoy it.
So, starting training martial arts around the time you were leaving high school?
Bit before, about 2 years-ish, yeah.
At the end of your high school, though, what did you want to do? Where did you want to go?
I wanted to do sports psychology. That was a terrible idea. Horrendous idea. Probably the worst idea I've ever had, actually, yeah. Went to Preston College, it was shit. And I left there pretty soon. And then I got a shitty job in some, like, construction building kind of thing. Just, I don't even know what that was. It was terrible. And then I did rendering. I got a little side kind of thing, rendering. That was terrible. The boss was an absolute knobhead, to be honest. And then I finally found out about the job that I'm doing now. So
just going back a little bit, what was it about the sports psychology that you didn't like?
It wasn't what I thought it would be. You can't really do sports psychology until uni. You have to do, like, sports. And it was terrible. You're learning about just, like, how sports people are meant to act and this and that. And college weren't for me either, actually. I couldn't do 3-4 more years of sitting in a classroom learning, even if I was playing football pretty much every day. I couldn't sit in a classroom, you know what I mean?
So how did you end up getting into construction or into the construction job?
Bloody hell, how did I end up getting into that construction job? I don't remember. It was like a college. So kids from high schools in Blackpool, a lot of them, they'd get sent to the college if they weren't behaving in school and they couldn't be in. So when I left my college, I got sent there because I had nothing else to do. So I was like, right, I'm going to this college now for construction. And then they were like, oh, do you want a job? And I was like, yeah, because probably weren't great at the job, but I could talk to people and I was nice and I smiled a lot and all this. So they said, oh, do you want a job? And I was like, damn right, I'm on a job. Like, I don't care what you make me do, I'll do it. And then I was basically teaching, but just weren't for me. It was terrible. I didn't enjoy it. Much preferred what I do now, definitely. And then even the rendering, it's more the people, I think. The job both the jobs weren't bad. The people, I just didn't get along with them, really. That's it. I just didn't get along with the people. So it was every day I was in a shit mood. So, yeah.
So when then did your job now come in? How did that come around?
Well, so the engineer, so I work for Shepley's Engineering and we're on Springfield Fuels as a contractor. So the engineer for the mechanical team, his wife knows one of my mum's friends, and my mum's friend obviously knew, oh, I've just left my job. Do you want to go for this? And I was like, yeah. So my mum got me the thing. I sent my CV and all this. And I'd booked while I was at my old job for me and my cousin and her fiance to go to London to go to Harry Potter World. And I was there in Harry Potter World. I was in London, walking around London, and I was like, shit, like, I've f***ed up leaving that job. Like, I've just paid for this. I'm looking at my bank account. I've got no money at all. There's no money in the bank. There's nothing in the pot. So I was like, shit. And I remember I was sat in McDonald's with my mum and all family. I was like, oh, bollocks, I've really fucked this up. And then me and my mum were on London Bridge, and the email wasn't going through to send my CV. And my mum was like calling people, why is my phone not working? Sending the email. And then finally it sent through. Got back. I got a phone call. The guy said, do you want an interview? And I was like, yeah, damn right, I want an interview. Got my nana and granddad took me because I was 16, couldn't drive then. Took me to work, well, where it is. It's only a 10-minute drive from mine. I had the interview, new call about pipe fitting, pipe welding, engineering. I didn't even know what the place was. I didn't even know it was there. I'd lived there for 17 years. I didn't even know it was there. Went in and I was like, I just talked to him like normal people. They asked me questions and I asked them. Oh, I knew call, but I was asking them questions like I knew what was going on. I was like, oh, really? Why do you do it like that? I don't know. I didn't even know what a flange was at that point. They were telling me about flanges and how they bolt them up. And I was like, oh, why do you do it like that? I didn't even know what they were saying. Just spoke to them, told them that I had autism, told them I struggle with people sometimes. And they were like, you know what? It's fine. Autism doesn't matter. You've told us, we'll work something out in the future. So went home, great interview. And then he called me and I was like, oh. So he called me and he said, right, there's 3 people left. And also when I'd gone in, these kids were like 20. They were all massive. They were all built like brick shit houses. They were all wearing suits. And I was like, oh, there's no chance. Absolutely no chance. Massive office building where the interview was. I was like, no, I don't think this is what I'm for. I'm not smart enough for this. So he called me and he was like, there's 3 people left. I was like, shit. And then he called me the next day and he's like, I think we're going to give it you. And I was like, oh shit, like I've actually got it. And then, yeah, got paid for 3 weeks because I couldn't get on the site because I couldn't get a pass. Sat at home getting paid. I was actually researching what the job was about while I was getting paid for working. Didn't have a clue. And then, yeah, I've loved it. I hate waking up at 6:30, but I love going in every day. I love it, even if the people at work will know I'm quite difficult to get along with. Sometimes I'll argue and they'll give me something. They'll try and help me, but because of, I feel in high school, getting told, oh, don't do it like that, I'm a bit defensive. Like, tell me what to do. I'm going to do it like this. But I do love it. At the end of the day, I walk out and I'm like, wow, I can't actually believe I'm doing this. Like, I can weld and I can make stuff. What? It would have never thought that I'd have done it, no.
So what is the job actually doing?
So, I'm on an apprenticeship for pipe welding and manufacturing engineering. So, the pipe welding, I didn't even know what pipe welding was really. I knew what welding was. So you got your pipe welding part and you got your manufacturing engineering. So that's like your pipe fitter kind of side. So it's more in America, in big industrial plants, you'll have your pipe fitters that will put the pipe there and then you'll weld it. But it's not really like that in England. It's you both or you're nothing. So, well, down in the north, up in the north, sorry, anyway. So it's all that. Go to college. The course is 4 years. Hopefully, I'll get it done in 3. So I'll have 1 more year after September.
So do you have an option to end it a year early as well? How do you get that done faster?
Just coursework, really. Where you work has to approve it. They might say, no, we want you to do another year of your apprenticeship. I don't know what might happen, but yeah, as long as there's a certain criteria you have to do. There's a professional discussion, job card, which is you do a job, you write about it, and they'll ask you questions in your professional discussion about the jobs.
Yeah. Is there like a practical side as well?
Yeah, so there's a practical test, which is only for the pipe welding part, because the manufacturing engineering is an add-on kind of thing, but that is an apprenticeship in its own. Luckily, our boss, the engineer that we work for, Dave, he said to college, I want these guys to be the best that they can be. You're gonna put them on this extra course. I don't really care. You're gonna do it. I want these guys to be a pipe welder and be able to make stuff, be able to fit pipes and everything.
Why is it that you're in a company that is working on the site at Springfields but isn't Springfields? Why is that? I didn't even know that was a thing. I just assumed that if you work on Springfields, you work for Springfields.
So we're a contractor, but we're on there every day. We don't get, we need you to come in for 2 months and you're going to do this and then you're going to fuck off. Well, it's not permanent work, but there's so much to do. Shepleys have been on there for something like 30 years.
Do you think that Springfields would just employ people themselves? Do you know what I mean? To do the job that you're doing rather than have a contract?
Yeah, they do, but I think it's above my pay grade.
Yeah, it works, doesn't it?
It works. It's got me in a job. But it's... So, what were we saying? So professional discussion, job cards, practical test, and then you've got off-the-job hours, which basically just write about what you do at work. Today I got taught how to do this. I'm better at this now because I can do this. Send it off. You have to do like 700 hours worth of that. Then that's it really.
So what's your plan for your future? So you're going to finish your apprenticeship in 12 months or 2 years or whatever it'll be. What's your plan after that?
It's dependent on what happens. What I want to happen is, well, the bosses don't know this, but if they see it, they will know. It's
good to be ambitious, though. It's good to be ambitious.
So, at my company, I know one of the electrician apprentices, they paid for him to go to university, do a university degree. That's what I kind of want to do. They do it 1 day a week, just like going to college. If it don't happen, it don't happen. I'm gonna stay at Shepleys. I think if they give me a job, I'm gonna stay there. I enjoy it. I like the people there. I'm gonna stay there, or I'm gonna go to uni. But I'm not gonna go to uni, fuck off and go somewhere else. I want to go to uni. I want to stay at Shepleys where I am now because I like it.
What's the degree in?
I've not decided yet.
Right, okay. So it's different.
It'd be some engineering, mechanical engineering, or probably just mechanical engineering. Or you could go down the route of being a welding inspector, which is, I think, you have to go to university for that. But anything, just something to get me to the next level. I don't see the point of waiting. I've never understood it. You've got to do something, I know it's easy to say, isn't it? Oh, you've got to keep going up in your career. But some people are like, well, I can't. Like, I'm stuck here, kind of thing. But that's what I want to do. I want to keep going. I want to get everything I can, and that's the kind of reason I wanted to come on here was because there's people my age that don't do anything. Why? You've got to do. You've got to do something. Like, you've got to work. You've not got to work if you want to. If you want to be a professional athlete, go and do it. But you've got to go and do it.
Yeah, but it's still work, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
it's still a lot of work.
Yeah, but
is what I mean.
no.
I know what you're saying. I know what you
Not
mean.
discrediting.
No, and I think that anything worth achieving is difficult.
Yeah, but there's a weird thing about people my age that they don't want to do anything. I can't understand it. Just do anything, even if you're waiting for that one shot to come from a team or something. Oh, I really want to get on this team. Don't sit there and wait. Go and get a job as a plumber.
I'll tell you, and I've said this a few times on this already, but most people I speak to, and I said it on only a couple of episodes ago, 99 times out of 100, they're in a job by chance. It is by chance.
Yeah, I didn't. To be fair, I was the same. Before I got the job I'm at now, I was happy to not do anything. I'd have been happy to just sit there. Don't know what it is with this generation of people. There is something about, oh, I'm just gonna go out with my mates every day. Why? Do something. Go and train. If you want to have fun, go to a jiu-jitsu gym. Go to an MMA gym. Do anything. But get higher. There's no point waiting. Oh, yeah, but I'm only 17. I'm only 18. I've still got my whole life ahead of me. Yeah, well, make that whole life ahead of you better by doing it now. You don't want to be 40 going to university. You know, you don't want to be 40 grafting like fuck in some workshop to get that little promotion. Imagine being like a supervisor at 23. What are you going to do then? Because you can't go back down. You're going to have to go back up and you're 23. Whereas you might be a supervisor at 50. Well, 17 years, that's all you've really got left. In 23, you've got, 40 years or something left. You can keep going. Money goes up. I know not everyone cares about just money, but it's pretty decent having a lot of it, and that goes up by working harder. I feel like the person who instilled that into me is definitely my uncle, actually. He was an electrician, some electrical engineer, I think.
Locally?
No, he used to live in Bradford.
Right, okay.
He lives in a little village now. He owned his own company, sold it, got a footload of money, got a boat, he got a bit of land, made it into a campsite, sold that, got another bit of land, made it into a campsite. But he didn't get anything. Like, I don't think my nana and granddad were wealthy. They had four kids in Bradford 50, 60 years ago. It wasn't, money's not going to be great. My granddad was a pipe welder. I didn't know that.
Ironic, yeah.
And my nana worked in W.H. Smith. They weren't great. They weren't well off, but he went and he's got a lot of money. My uncle now, he didn't get given anything. He went and did it. When he was young, he went and worked in a workshop when he was 16 and just did it. There was no waiting around. I can't understand it.
I was going to ask you about what advice would you give to somebody looking to get into doing engineering, but I think you've just given most of the advice you would give anyway.
Look, you spend so much time looking for the perfect thing, I feel. Obviously, yeah, I just said, oh, I want to enjoy my job. I do enjoy my job. I'm one to talk kind of thing. Say, oh, just do anything. But I did do anything. I was rendering on the side of buildings.
An opportunity came up because of it, you know?
Yeah. I left that. Opportunity came. You don't know how the world works. If I didn't do that job, that opportunity might not come. You may as well keep working Because even that, I realised from that, there's some people that just aren't nice people. Just from that one job. I know I was at that job for a bit. Even that little lesson about how to interact with people, now I'm in this job and I've kind of cracked the code. So yeah, just if you want to get into something mechanical, there's places there. I'd say, I was saying earlier, I don't like college. When I go, we get to go to Liverpool College once a week. When I go there, I wouldn't, if I weren't at my job, I wouldn't mind doing a pipe welding course by itself. It's more interesting. Obviously, you're going to sit down at a computer and write stuff up, but just do that. If you can't find anything, go to college. Do a year. And if you don't like it, go and do something else. Do a year. After a year's experience, if you want an apprenticeship, and there's one now, I've had to wait a year, but it's here, go for it. I know for Shepley's there's electricians as well. So there's 2 of their apprentices. He did 2 years at college and then found an apprenticeship. The other did 1 year at college and then found an apprenticeship. One of them's 22, I'm sure. The apprentices at my place, I know the oldest is 23. He's finishing in October. So it took him from 17 to 23. But I know he went to college in Leyland to do mechanical. Didn't like it. Found the apprenticeship.
I think some people's chances come at different times, don't they? We've had apprentices that are like 24, 23, 24, and they're starting, you know. But then we've had the 16 and the 17.
But then I worked with someone, and this isn't about younger people. I worked with someone, he's called Luke. He's going to hate me for this. He worked as a plumber. He did an apprenticeship at pipe welding at BAE Systems in Barrow. Did that work there for like however many years. And then I think he did 15 years plumbing. And I don't think he liked it that much. For 15 years, but he was there, he was comfortable, and he was getting paid well. He worked for a good company, plumbing. He got paid well, but he works now, pipe fitting, and I wish I did this sooner. I wish I just went for it. Even if you just take an interview when you're working somewhere else, that doesn't mean you're going to get fired from the job you're in now. Just go for it. If you want to, just do it. There's no point waiting around. That's the main thing I want to say. There's no point waiting around. If you wait around, nothing's going to happen. You've got to at least do something. Yeah. You know, you're not going to get what you want if you stand around or, I can't be bothered, or what shall I do, or yeah, I'll go to college and I'm not going to go to my lessons. And then at night, I'm just going to go. I'm going to go out, and I see them, like kids my age, and they're just in town. Not saying, don't go out, but if you want to go on a night out, yeah, that's fine. But just standing around in groups of people, and you're 18, I know there's something better you can do. Do it. That's the main thing I want to say. Just do it. Don't. Oh, he's not doing it. He randomly became a millionaire. That's going to happen to me. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do drop shipping. I'm going to do that. Right. Well, while you're setting that up, if you really want to do that, go and work at McDonald's. Do something. Just get your skills up. Get your life skills up. Because sitting at home playing Xbox, jumping straight to a full-time job that is a good job, you've not got the experience to make sure you're stable in that job. That is your first job. And that's the one you want to stay with forever. I knew I weren't going to stay at my first few jobs, but they gave me experience, so that's what they were for.
What does a pipe welder do outside of the job? So take the job out of it altogether now. We've talked about jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. What else do you do?
No. See my girlfriend? She's been very helpful as with the whole autism, helping me understand stuff. Like, especially with the anxiety part. I didn't even know what was happening. I was stressing about things, and I was like, what's going on? Why am I thinking about this? And she'd explain to me, she'd say, this is happening because of this. And she'd show me, you did it. This happened last week. It's the same reason. This is why. And then she helped me move on for it. So that was a great part. But yeah, see my girlfriend, I like my cars. I like to go to car shows, everything to do with cars. And yeah, got a Ford Focus. It's a piece of shit at the moment, but it's a beast. It does move. I know everyone will be like, oh, you look Focus, but it's that exhaust is worth 900 quid, pal. So, and I'm sure you heard me coming down the road. So, but
What's your dream car?
yeah, I don't know. There's so many you could say, isn't there? GT3 RS, but it's not worth it. There's no point. There's no point. An old M3. I nearly got a chance to buy one actually from someone I work with. There was a 325i.
Yeah.
It was 1980, going for $1,000. So I
Is it?
buy it. Yeah.
Cheap.
You don't want it.
325.
Was it 330? No, 320i. Sorry, I think
320. Right.
it was.
How old?
1980.
Right. Okay.
It was. I was like, I'm gonna buy it. It's grand. I'm gonna buy
Worth
it.
£1,000.
It was fucked.
It is worth £1,000.
Yeah, but I think it was a bit of a dodgy dealer. Whoever was,
a car that age now, no matter what condition it in.
we looked at them. They're worth like $8,000. It's not an M3 or anything. It's just
320.
naturally aspirated and stuff. So, but that's something I'd like if I had a brand new one of them. But any car, I can like anything. I feel like cars, you do them yourself. You like what you like. There's no, it's kind of shit. Deal with it.
It's a personal choice, that, isn't it?
It's your thing. If you want something big, if you want a big Cupra, go and get a big Cupra. If you want an M3, go and get an M3. If you can afford it. But you know what I mean? You like your own stuff. And I don't have a specific one car that I want.
How long do you think you're going to have the Focus for?
Not long. It's going soon.
Is it? And what are you going to get next?
I want a BM, but my granddad won't let me because he doesn't like the brand.
Yeah, well, so,
But I like it.
Say what you will about the Germans, but they make a good car.
They do. But they make Audis as well. You don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, all German cars are good.
I know. Yeah. But I don't know what I'd want. I
think a natural step, especially like at your age.
I had a Ford Fiesta. And then I was leaving work and a fucking electricity Northwest van reversed into me, took my whole front bumper off, smashed through my radiator. I'm not going to say how much I got from the insurance in case they try and come back for me, but it was more than I should have. And yeah, then I got the Ford Focus. I just liked it. I've seen it on Facebook Marketplace. It's not the fastest thing ever, but it looks cool. I like it. It's got a big exhaust on it.
If you like it, that's all that matters.
It goes when you're driving down the motorway. I remember there was a story actually. I was leaving Liverpool College, and as you join the M58 from Liverpool, you just go down like this and you turn left. And I was hammering it, so it was in like fifth. Put my foot down and it starts going. I was like, oh, this is sick. And this van behind me starts flashing at me. I was like, oh, what's he flashing at? Right, I'll stop. Look to my left, it's a police car. That van must have seen the police car over my head. And I was like, oh. You're right, me. And just kept driving home. That was funny. That was the first time I drove it up there, actually. I've racked some miles on that car, I'll tell you. I drive it everywhere. I just love driving. My mum hates me for it. She says, why are you always out? I like driving. I like it. Yeah. It's fun. It not even just going fast. I don't think you have to go fast to have fun. It's just nice, isn't it? You know, going out.
Being a young lad driving a car.
It's not even that. It's not even
so
like I'm a
good.
dickhead that races everyone. It's only if you have a nice car then.
No, do you know what? I remember being young and we used to go and pick your mate up. We're not going anywhere. We're just driving around. And you used to love it. Love it.
It's another thing about autism though. I get so bored sometimes. Me and my girlfriend had nothing to do, and I was like, I drove to Barrow. I just drove to Barrow to look at the warehouses that they keep submarines in. I was like, I got there and I was like, oh, cool, right, go home now. Literally, because I don't know, have you ever been?
Yeah, maybe a long time ago.
There's nothing there, and then there's a bridge that goes, so your warehouse is here, there's a bridge that goes over the water here. Drove on the bridge, I went, huh. Turned back round, came back over and went, huh. Back home again, about 2-hour drive, just because I was bored. Like, I just drive to Bradford. My dad's from Bradford. I like it up there. Just drive there. Drive to York. We went on a day trip to York out of nowhere. I was like, what's going on? And my car's screaming at me. It's like, but yeah.
The last one from me. If the world of pipe welding and the world of construction and sports psychology and everything you've ever done before was to end tomorrow and you were 16 again, leaving school, what job would you want to do instead? Where would you want to be?
Can't be anything to do with engineering.
Can't be anything to do with what you do now. Something completely different.
Be a rally car driver.
Yeah, nice.
I went for it, you know. I've got looking for a car to take. I was trying to get just something to take. I was like, I'm not taking mine on there. And I was like, it's kind of expensive, this sport, isn't it? So I thought that off pretty quickly. That was a stupid idea. But yeah, a mechanic, but does that count? I'd be a mechanic. Yeah, 100%. I'd just be a mechanic. I just like working with my hands. Don't know. It's just fun, isn't it? It's better than sitting at a computer.
Obviously, everyone sees things different, don't they? But
then I'd like a bit of a mix of both. I go to work and I go in the buildings and stuff, and I see these engineers and stuff. They'll go in, I do a bit, but then we've got to do permits and stuff, and I'm like, I'd like to do that one day. I'd like to do something like, I can go now and I can say, I welded that onto that pipe, I did that, I made the brackets, whatever. But to say, I designed that, I said it was going to come that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. That's yours, that's mine, I've done that. I feel like that's pretty good, and especially where I work. I think whoever does that should be pretty proud of themselves. Yeah. A mix of the both, I think, is probably best. Oh.
That's it, mate. Yeah, no, thanks for doing this, mate. Appreciate it. That's it. So thanks for watching if you're on the YouTube, or thanks for listening if you're on the audio. Same as always, please hit the like and subscribe button, and let's spread and share. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.